So I want to talk about delegation. A lot of people struggle with handing off tasks. And someone asked in Facebook, for those with assistants, how do you handle personal or sensitive emails or information when it comes to an assistant? So many people that I saw responded on here is like, oh, I have a separate inbox. Oh, I don't let them do certain things and everything. I mean, that's all fine, but you have to ask yourself, what do you want in an assistant? What? A lot of people are like, oh, they handle my sales calls. They do certain things in the cleaning company or in the company. And that's not an executive assistant. That is just like a receptionist for the business. And maybe they're actually helping you sit in a sales role or in a role within the company. But an executive assistant, an actual assistant, is really to help me get freedom so that I can do more. But it's to help me, my responsibilities as an owner, and my personal responsibility so that I can do more, so I can grow faster, I can achieve more, I can get that freedom that I'm looking for. And so if we're opening other like email accounts or we're not letting them handle certain things, you're defeating the purpose. In my opinion, I would be defeating the purpose. And I'm just talking from my experience and my reality. And it's actually more work because it's like, what do they have? What can they have? They can't have this and they can't have that. And I still have to handle this. So like just the thought process around that is not one layer deep. It's not transparent. There is a lack of trust still there. So a delegation framework that I'm going to drop and I'm going to share in the group and to really help you figure this out, because you're not going to get to where you're looking for if you're only handing off some of the stuff. Some of the most successful people that I know delegate all of it, everything. And it's really up to how much liability, how much risk, not liability, how much risk are you willing to assume? How much? So Marilyn, my executive assistant, she pretty much has access to everything, every email account, the credit cards, my driver's license. I mean, she could hold me hostage if she wanted to, but we built trust over time that where she earned that right. She earned the ability. I trust her. And if I didn't trust her, I wouldn't do it. So if you don't trust your executive assistant, then I would say that you don't either, they haven't been there long enough, right? It takes time, or you don't have the right executive assistant, or you don't trust yourself. You don't trust yourself or your process. There is a lack of trust somewhere. And so I want to walk through why this is important. Why? Because if you're only delegating some of it, you're still not getting the freedom, the unlock, the next level that you're looking for by partial delegation. It's like when you tell a lie and you don't remember what part of the lie you told and who did you tell it to. I'm not saying that you're lying, but that's what it reminds me of. It's like, do they check this email? Oh, no, they don't. And I forgot about this, but they can do that, but they can't do this. And it just becomes too complicated. So to achieve the freedom that I wanted, I needed to give her all of my personal emails, access to pay certain bills, personal bills in other companies, because we have several, and there needed to be an exchange of trust. It was an understanding that we both had. And how do we get there? So I use a framework and I'm kind of walk you through it. It's called the 3 levels of delegation, and it's risk, responsibility, trust. So when we delegate, it isn't just offloading work. So that's not what I mean by delegation. It's about building trust through accountability. If you want to scale, or you want to scale yourself, or you want to scale the business, you need to learn how to do this. This framework will work with anyone in your business, not just your executive assistant. But one of the biggest things I see with business owners is they lack so much trust. And we don't trust ourselves. I was that person. I didn't trust any of my technicians in the field. And that's why I had to follow them around to every house when I first started. I used to own a bar. I didn't trust any of the bartenders. And so I was there all night. Might as well have bartended. So, and that is a personal thing. That is a personal issue inside of us. It has nothing to do with the people around us. So we have to learn that delegation isn't just offloading work. It's about building trust through accountability. And then how do we do this, right? You have to move from assigning a task to empowering someone with real responsibility. So here's how we do it. The first one is task. Remember, it was task, responsibility, trust. The first one is, let's give a task. Start with something very specific, very measurable, like a one-time thing. Like, hey, I want you to book my plane ticket to this location on this day, and I like this airline. right? Very, very easy. It's not necessarily repeatable, but it's a one-time task and it's very clear and there's an outcome. I need to get to Chicago by Sunday. And I'll fly any airline but Spirit. Very easy, right? That's a task. Can they do it? Can they do it successfully? How many questions do they ask me? Do they ask me good questions? Do they ask me questions that are driving me bonkers? That is a task. Now, number 2 is let's give them a responsibility. What's a responsibility? Well, once someone has proven that they can handle a task well, then they learn the ability to manage the outcome. So manage the outcome rather than just completing the step, right? They manage the outcome. And so that would be, instead of just booking the flight, they would ensure that all the travel is booked, the hotel is booked, the Uber is arranged, it aligns with the schedule for the conference or the convention, and they have proactively handled all of the conflicts, any issues, driving, cars, luggage, hotels, check-in times. They have handled the whole thing in its entirety, down to my meals, right? Marilyn checks for restaurants. I used to be gluten-free. Now I'm carnivore, so it's actually a little bit easier being carnivore. Does the hotel have food that I can eat for breakfast? So she arranges everything. We put it in Trello boards. I used to do a tremendous amount of traveling. 2025, I'm taking off from a lot of traveling, but she would handle even down to what equipment does the gym have so we can make sure that I can do my regular exercise in the morning. My routines are very, very sacred to me. And so she's managing the responsibility of me getting there and knowing, I would know nothing about even the hotel I'm going to. I would get on the plane, not even realize what airline it was. It's here, I'd be at the airport, check in. She'd check in for me. I'd get on the plane, I'd get off. She would tell me the Uber's waiting. I'd get in the car. And at one time I realized I didn't even know where I was going. I didn't even know the name of the hotel. The Uber driver just dropped me off. That's managing the responsibility. I gave her the responsibility in its entirety to get me there successfully. I didn't ask a question, and I do this on purpose. I intentionally, and sometimes it can drive you crazy, but it's a great test. Don't ask how it's going. Don't ask, oh, did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do that? Just let them do it. Let them do it and see how it comes out. Believe me, you can get a hotel last minute anywhere. I can find food anywhere. It's not the end of the world if everything wasn't aligned perfectly. But it's a great trust building exercise. And then from there, give them trust. If they can do the task, great, you got me the airplane ticket. Okay, great, you can manage all the travel in its entirety, down to my talk, the presentation, where is it in the drive, where can I find it, where's the handout, all of that, right? That's the responsibility. And then the trust is, at this level, they aren't just executing, they're making decisions on my behalf. Marilyn is showing up to meetings with vendors, with panelists on my behalf, helping me, get ready for travel. They understand my preferences. They understand my values. They understand the priorities, and it's deeper enough that they can act with autonomy. Marilyn will follow me around to meetings. And in some meetings, she won't say a word. She won't say nothing, but I need her to be there. I need her to understand what I'm going through so that when a question comes up, she doesn't have to ask me. She knows the answer. She's I told Chris I want to breed her to be like a mini Libby so she can take over my job. So she can act with autonomy, and she has my values, my priorities. She's uber organized, which is why we get along and it resonates so well. So now from here, she's not just booking travel. They know my commitments, can approve expenses. She can arrange things. She can make calls on my behalf. Like I said, she sits in for vendor meetings, speaker meetings, and she can represent me on my behalf. That's trust. I now trust her to say, hey, Marilyn, I can't make it to this meeting. Can you go for me? Let me know if there's anything I need to know. When you reach this level, right, it's amazing. And when they can make calls on your behalf, represent you in meetings, and it's in my best interest, and she can make decisions within my best interest without having to consult me, without having my input. So trust isn't just handed over, it's earned through execution and alignment, right? The right people won't just take it, like the right people won't just take a task off your plate. They'll think ahead, they'll problem solve, and they'll create leverage for you. Marilyn has like saved so much of my mental space that it's insane. But if I didn't give her the ability to have total freedom over like my emails, she sees the card charges, she sees the finances, she sees certain things, she has access, she signs contracts on my behalf because we have a lot of agreements with speaking and vendors and affiliates. She signs contracts on my behalf. She represents me in meetings for my owners that have a lot of drive and they want to get to like next level. I want to dream bigger. I want to do more. I see that third mountain. You're not going to get there if you can't build trust and hand these things over. Hand them over. We, as business owners, we get burned so many times. And it's because we picked the wrong people or our processes are broken. It's not necessarily because people are inherently evil or bad. They're not. It's just that either we don't know how to delegate, we don't know how to trust, or we have broken processes. And so once you do these, work through these, remember, give them a task, give them the responsibility, and then give them trust. It's amazing. And then like Marilyn can do her job. She doesn't have to, it also empowers her. She can make some really great decisions. She's planning an entire retreat for the company for Woot Recruit, one of our software companies. We've never met everyone in person. Marilyn is planning the entire retreat for the software company by herself. I just told her, I told her a few things I'd like some morning meditation exercises, fun dinners, and some activities in the afternoon, sightseeing. And we're going to learn in the first half a day, lunch, fun, dinner. I said, that's pretty much all I care about. And she's doing it all because I trust her. She knows me. She has my values. And if your assistant doesn't have your values, you need a new assistant. I had to go through 3 executive assistants to find one that was great for me. And the sad part is that she will move on probably in the company. She loves marketing. She won't always be my executive assistant. And that's okay because we trust her and we want her to grow here. I want to keep her forever, but I do see her moving more and more into marketing because that's what she has a degree in. So I just want to tell my business owners out there or anyone, like if you're hiring someone because you want help, but you're not willing to give it to them, right? Earn the trust, build the they have to earn the trust. You have to build the trust. You have to give the trust. There's no building trust if you're not giving it to them and they're not earning it, right? You can't build anything. You have to give trust and they have to earn it for us to build it. And so you're going to struggle for a long time and it's just going to feel like half. Like, I don't know if you've ever had people that work for you, you love them, they're so nice, but it's just like something's missing. They're not doing their job. Like they could do more. I don't know what they're doing kind of feeling. That's what you're going to have because you're not building trust. You may just be delegating tasks and that doesn't empower your people. That isn't being a leader. And it's going to keep you, the owner, in a box. You're never going to achieve full optimization. You're never going to achieve full capacity. I don't know. I'm like at a loss for words. Like you're not going to achieve full efficiency from yourself, of what you could achieve if you don't give trust. And through these 3 steps, you can give it and then that person has to earn it. And then that's building that trust.